Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Politically Correct Ghana lesson 315. And today being the 29th of August 2025, we want to discuss scrapping the office of the special prosecutor and transferring the funds into child benefits. Scrapping the OSP and transferring the funds into child benefit. I'm just reiterating some points that has earlier been raised partially by Atik Mohammed, who is a political party activist, and Dennis Kwakwa of the MPP, and of course, no mean a person than the chairman of the National Democratic Congress of Ghana, who, in the person of Mr. Johnson Asiedu Nketia, they have asked that the OSP should be scrapped. And today we'll be looking at what goes into the scrapping legally, and then the financial implications and how it should be redirected. All right. If you look at the OSP Act, that is 959, that was enacted in 2017. It is nothing but a replication of the YOCO, Economic and Organized Crime Organizations Act, and then that of the Shiraj Act, that's the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice. The law was enacted way back in 1993. So we look at it and see where it coincides with the new one. So if it does, then the new one must go. The institution of Office of Special Prosecutor, OSP, must be scrapped. Then that of the Economic and Organized Crime was in the year 2010. See, if you look at the law, Section 2 of the OSP says, investigate and prosecute cases of alleged or suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses. That's the function. Function 1. Function 2, recover the proceeds and assets derived from corruption and corruption-related offenses. That's another function, another role of the OSP. Okay, then you look at YOCO, which is the year 2010, the law itself, it states clearly, monitor and investigate financial and economic crimes or financial or economic crimes. Prosecute these offenses on the authority of the AG, Attorney General. Recover the proceeds of crime. There's no difference. So it means that the last in must go. If you look at the Shiraj law, that's 1993, it says investigate all instances of alleged or suspected corruption and misappropriation of public monies by the officials to take appropriate. There's no need for OSP. The Office of the Special Prosecutor is not necessary. It was enacted in 2017 by the then President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Nana Addo knows, he's an experienced man, he knows the law, he's a lawyer, so he knows that these two institutions, that's the Shiraj and YOCO, did exist, but insisted that they should, he would enact the OSP Act. And the first OSP, Martin Amidu, knows very well that these laws and the functions already exist. With the president, he knows, based on his experience, he has run a law firm before, so he knows that if you replicate functions or roles to 2 or 3 distinct institutions, nobody does the job. So corruption just increases. No wonder under his watch as president, corruption increased, it ballooned, because YOCO couldn't have picked it up. He said it was the special prosecutor's job. The special prosecutor said it was the YOCO's job. YOCO says it is Shiraj's job. Shiraj says it is OSP's job. So nobody does it, and it was left unattended. So there's so much corruption cases under his watch, and it's now taking the current government by John Dramani Mahama, headache to investigate all these cases and prosecute. So I think that the best thing to do is to streamline the organizations. Simply put, the Office of the Special Prosecutor must be scrapped. The law must be abolished and the institution scrapped. Once the chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Johnson Asiedu Nketia, has called for a scrap, I also agree that that institution must be scrapped. And I would hope that the President John Dramani Mahama takes note of that. That's not aside We have spent so much money with the OSP, 1 billion Ghana cedis over the 8 years as budgetary allocation to the Office of the Special Prosecutor. 1 billion Ghana cedis. Are we saying that we couldn't have used this 1 billion Ghana cedis to fight child poverty in Ghana? Where each child, we give birth to 3.6 million children a year, that each child each month must be given 100 cedis or even 50 cedis to the parents to take care of the child. Say 100 cedis each month for the upkeep of the child. The state can do that. For 3.6 million children, the state can use these OSP monies to do that. We have kept ourselves in the dark and kept our children suffering when we have a certain responsibility to make sure that they live well. You go to the rural areas and even the rural Accra or even the city center, you have children who are selling on the streets. Children cracking stones with their mamas before they can have a meal to eat a day. Not even two, a meal a day. Most children go to bed without a meal. Over 3.6 million children. The same 3.6 million that we give birth to each year, about 3.6 million go to bed without a meal each day. Which country is this? Has the country got a conscience of taking care of its children? The poor ones, the vulnerable ones. We have to wake up. President John Dramani Mahama, please institute child benefit. Please institute child benefit such that each child born, the parent is given 100 cedis for the upkeep of the child. 100 cedis each month for the upkeep of the child, and scrap the OSP. Thank you. The name is Kwame Afagro.